So probably one of the most frustrating things in golf is hitting your irons nice and straight, but then getting out your driver and slicing the hell out of it. It goes way out there to the right. And we're going to get into in this video exactly why that happens. And we're going to get into two main reasons and of course some drills we can do to be able to fix the driver and straighten up that ball flight permanently. So I'm Jonathan Chown with JChownGolf. Let's get right into why we are slicing this driver and of course how to fix it. So when we're struggling with slicing the driver, we need to know first, before we even get into anything, how a slice happens. Ultimately, in the simplest terms, if we're having a swing path going whatever way, it could be into out, it could be out to in, but for this example, let's say it's out to in, so your classic over the top move. If that club face is open to that path, so let's say it's quite open to the direction that path is going, that ball is going to curve quite a bit out there to the left. So you might be someone as well who maybe pulls their driver as well as slicing it, so you hit it way left and it stays straight. That'll be your path going very much out to win and that club face matching the path rather than being open. But if that club face is slightly open to that path, it's going to slice off tremendously. So we've got to make sure we're fixing the club face and the path. To fix a slice, we can't just go and fix the swing path, because if the club face is opening up for us, then we are still going to be hitting the ball right, because like we said, we just need the club face to be open to a path for that ball to go and slice offline. So even if we're swinging into a draw path, if the club face is open, we're going to be push slicing it. So we need to get the club face fixed. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to fix the slice. So that's our first little bit here. We've got to fix this club face. Now, why does this happen more often with driver than it does with irons? And that's because of a lot of the subconscious thing that we do with driver, and you probably guessed it, and that is trying to smack the living daylights out of it. So trying to hit that driver as far as we can. Now you can see from here with me, I won't be able to do that. That doesn't matter because I'm hitting it into a net. So really doesn't matter how far I hit it. It's more about the movement. So really, if I'm going to go and I'm going to smack this driver, I'm going to get very tense with my upper body. I'm going to probably start really gripping the golf club very tight, and I'm just going to get ultimately not in a relaxed position. So this might sound a lot like the first tee for a lot of you guys here. So how this relates to the club face first, this all relates though to trying to hit the ball too hard, not out, not too fast, too hard. So I'm gripping that golf club really tight. I'm getting ready to smack the living daylights out of it. So I'm going to quickly take the club off the ball with my hands and arms. See, I'm quickly taking that club off the golf ball. So my hands are disconnecting away from my body, because I'm not turning my body. I'm just trying to smack it with my arms. The club face, because I've gotten disconnected, I'm gripping the club face tight. Club face has opened up. So when I get disconnected with my hands and arms in a takeaway from being too armsy, I end up rolling my forearm, so my lead forearm here. So when I roll my lead forearm with a standard grip, you're going to see how that club face opens up, doesn't it? So if that club face opens up and we keep it open through the golf swing, no matter what our path is going to be like, that ball is going to most likely go out to the right. So we need to calm down that aggressive first move off the golf ball. We don't want it to be a hands and arms dominant swing, but when we have the intention of hitting the ball hard, for a lot of golfers, that activates too much upper body, too much arm movement, especially in the beginning of the swing. So what we do want here, we want more of a movement coming back, where we are having more of a passive turn. Now you're going to see how my body is more turning rather than my hands and arms doing anything. My upper body is really having a little bit of rotation to start off the swing. I'm not getting it overly open. So you can see my club face angle, just mainly just moving my upper body, my arms are connected to me. You can see how that club face is a little bit angled down, matching my spine angle. So we're going to get into a good drill to do for this later on, but we can see how that aggressive first move gets us too armsy. Now that's just going to open up the club face to where if we have a nice body turn there with our upper body start off the swing, arms nice and connected, the club face squares up nicely. So we need to calm down that aggression from the first movement off the ball. We're not even hitting it at the first bit here. We're hitting it at impact. So we don't need to go hard off the ball, do we? So really, coming down in the downswing now, this is our path element. So let's say we've had this real aggressive move off here. We've got that club face wide open. Now, as you know, you've probably heard of, the out of sequence downswing. Now, for a lot of guys out there, if you're trying to really smack the living daylights out of the golf ball, again, what you're going to be doing, you're going to be rotating far too hard with your upper body into that golf ball, because you've already used quite a lot of hands and arms to start off your swing. Hands and arms are going to be the dominant mover of this golf club. So your upper body is going to rotate really fast, chop down on that golf ball in your downswing portion, and you're going to see here how that path is now getting very, very out to win on the golf ball. Those two together, the club face opening at the start, me chopping down the ball because I'm trying to smack it with my upper body and arms, now that ball's going to slice off. So we can see, like you guys probably know a little bit of about this, is when you try to smack the shot from the top of the backswing going into the downswing, that causes the club to travel way too far out in front of us through rotating the upper body too early, arms going out in front of us, and then we hit the ball. So this is where we need to be having more of a feel here of, we're feeling like the fastest part of our golf swing isn't here. We need to feel like it's past that golf ball. It's right past the golf ball. We want the fastest bit to here. If we can come in a downswing and really feel quite nice and, you know, patient with our speed, we want to really be picking up that speed just through that golf ball. This will encourage us to rotate that lower body first, separate the lower body, then the upper body will follow afterwards, and then we can whip that speed going through that golf ball. So we want the speed of the swing being at the impact area or just after it. If we can physically think of that speed being just after that golf ball, we're actually, because it's a delayed effect a little bit, we're going to be putting that speed onto the golf ball, not before that. We certainly don't want it to be at the top of the backswing, going downswing, because bang, that's going to cause us to swing right over the top, really slicey path. So absolutely, you could purely think that and it would improve you, but conscious thought alone, very, very difficult to be able to make a change with conscious thought alone. So here's the drill we're going to do, and we're going to have both of these kind of feels in this drill. So I've got an alignment stick here. Now, what I'm going to do with this alignment stick, I'm going to place it about, let's say, a quarter of the driver behind and a quarter of the driver in front. So you can see here, I've got about 45-degree or so angle here, and you can see that stick is ultimately going to block my out to win path. So this is going to give me extra encouragement to swing more on the inside rather than throwing my shoulder over. And this you're going to immediately experience, if you do try to get aggressive, it's pretty much impossible to get yourself to not hit that. So if I'm having a good takeaway move here, where I'm moving more of my body, not my hands and arms, I'm not going out like this, I'm moving with rotating my upper body, keeping my arms and especially my left arm attached to my side. That will keep this club face nice and square, and then from there we just rotate upwards. We don't pick the club up, we rotate up to the top of the backswing, and then we turn down in the downswing, really making sure that speed is past that golf ball. But we want to be thinking in that downswing portion, all we really want to think doing this drill is just swinging underneath the stick, just miss it. So let's do a little one here. Let's do a nice controlled swing. Always important when we're doing these type of drills to start off small, build your way up. Very, very important. Making sure that club face is in a good spot with that good move, even if it feels quite small and controlled, and then get in there. And then we'll get into a little extra thing we could do with this. So just a little one to start off with. And that was definitely, even though you can't see the ball flight, imagine it soaring down there. From how I felt that through impact and missing that, there is no way that ball would have been going way out to the right. So if we make a little addition to this, so we can certainly just do it like that. Feel that feeling from the takeaway and then go after it. But I am so hot on you being able to get this takeaway move right. So what we want to do with this takeaway move, because we want that to get the club face square really early, this bit technically is actually the easy part. We just got to miss it. So our takeaway bit, you might have seen someone like Ricky Fowler or maybe Nick Fowler back in the day practicing this same type of move. I want you to get in that takeaway, get to your first move here with that shaft parallel to ground and stop. Why I want that is because if we can stop here and have a good old check, we can then prevent that club face from overly opening up too early. So I want to have that nice connected turn of that body, really turn it, making sure that club face is nice and square there. You can almost see glove logo wise pointing more down towards the ground. That's going to get me a square club face. So let's get it to here, stop, swing up a little bit and go. So you can see from there, that's really going to give me, one, the club face, because I'm physically controlling that move by stopping it and checking whether it's right or not and feeling whether it's right. And then I'm going from there, because it's, like I said, you can't fix this problem if you don't fix the club face. You're always going to hit it right if that club face is open. Always going to hit it right. So again, one more, making sure club face is good. Yep, good. Now just swing up, swing underneath the stick. So there we go. Obviously, can't see the ball flight, but you can guarantee if that club face is right, swinging underneath that path, I'm going to be having a much better face and path relationship. So I'll be hitting more of a kind of drawy shot. So if you ever get to the point, like we said, with what causes, you know, a slice, we need the path to be left, the face to be open to it to slice the golf ball. Where if the path is going more out to the right and the face is closed to it, there's a draw, and that will generally, with this stick, create that movement there. So ultimately, long story short of this, guys, make sure you're not trying to smack the living daylights out of the golf ball. Make sure you're being nice and controlled off that golf ball. Get that club face into a good spot, nice and connected in the turn, not disconnected. That will get the face nice and square. And then from there, we don't want to be trying to smack that ball really hard from the top of the backswing. We want that speed to be at that golf ball, feeling like it's past it. Like you can see there, that will really sort out your sequencing. That'll let the lower body go first, upper body to follow. Then when we have something like this with a alignment stick out the ground, when we're practicing to encourage it, then we'll be all good to go with that segmented drill as well to get the good practice we can. So if you're practicing in a way just like this, where you're focusing on club face, you're focusing on path, there's no way you could still be slicing it when you're doing that. You would probably be able to fix that real big slice in one ball there, because that's all you need. If you're doing those two things right, after one shot in a controlled manner like this, you could see that ball turn the other way quite quickly. So if you found this video helpful, guys, click that like button. So now you can see really from there that one of the main differences between irons and driver, you're trying to hit it as far as you can, trying to smack the living daylights there. Iron, you're not generally, are you? You're trying to hit the target, swinging more within yourself, more smooth, very rhythm based. So if you want more golf instruction just like this, click that subscribe button, hit that bell button too to be notified every time I put out a video too. So if you make sure these little key points are in check, making sure that club face is good, making sure that path is good, and through these drills, you're going to be fixing that slice with driver in no time, I can guarantee it.